evaluating the practical legal training, aka the PLT, I have got 3 tips. So I failed 8 classes in law school, so the law school / university wasn't the perfect experience. Let me tell you, I love the PLT so much more. But the tips that I am about to share really helped me enhance my PLT experience and also relieve the nerves for a little bit. First of all, you are going to go into the mindset that you are already a lawyer. Because in the PLT, they treat you like you are already an admitted junior lawyer. Like all of the assessments, all of the workshops are basically a way to make you play pretend lawyer. The reason why some may feel nervous about it is because there's going to be multiple times where you're going to be out of your comfort zone for a little bit, especially when you do the oral assessments. But that's the whole point. You are playing pretend lawyer because you are eventually going to be a real lawyer. The second tip is that the reason why you really shouldn't be scared about the PLT is because it is literally your safe space. What I mean by safe space is that it's literally your time to make mistakes, get feedback. For example, in the written assessments, at least when I was doing my PLT at Leo Cusson, a lot of the written assessments was writing reply letters, writing letters of advice, writing court documents. The PLT was my safe space to make the mistakes. So when I actually did become a lawyer in the real world, I already knew how to do those things. I already had feedback that I'm already going to implement into my actual job when I started working as a lawyer. Same thing with the oral assessments. For example, some of the oral assessments that I did was doing client interviews, negotiations, doing a hearing. And again, those assessments were the safe space to make mistakes and get feedback. A lot of the feedback that I received from my client interviews assessment was the feedback that I ended up implementing in the real world when I started doing interviews with clients when I became a lawyer. So yes, the PLT is normal to feel nervous, but remember at the end of the day, it is your safe space to make those mistakes and get those feedback. So by the time you do actually become a lawyer, you already know what to do and not to do. And continuing along with that, the third tip is that feedback is going to be your absolute best friend. I'll admit that throughout law school, it was really hard for me to read feedback on my assessments, but it is very, very necessary, and it's also very necessary in the PLT, and in fact, feedback is going to be your best friend. Because again, the PLT is your safe space to make mistakes, do things your way, get feedback on it, because that feedback is going to be very valuable for you by the time you do your placement, if you're doing your PLT placement after the PLT, and eventually your job as a lawyer. But look, it's normal to feel nervous. I know that I was definitely dreading it. If those 3 tips haven't convinced you enough, just remember that the PLT has no written exams. At least that's what I was looking forward to when I started the PLT. But trust me when I say this PLT will be very beneficial for you as a lawyer more than law school ever did. Just saying.